Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's me, Marco from PhoneDog.com. The past 2 days I've used this guy right here, the brand new HTC One, as my personal device. And this is not a full review. It's basically just a preliminary report about what's changed on the brand new HTC One M8 compared to the old HTC One M7. Now let's get right into it. So first things first is basically the design and the build of the HTC One. Now the previous HTC One was built completely out of aluminum. It was great, it was beautiful. No one ever saw an Android device made out of aluminum. And this new HTC One picks up right where the old HTC One left off. It's still aluminum, it's still unibody, it feels and looks absolutely great, especially this gunmetal color. This is the best color I've ever seen on any device so far. Better than space gray on the iPhone 5S in my opinion. It just looks good. Now the aluminum is actually softer than the old HTC One, which makes it feel lighter, less dense, yet it keeps the same rigidity that the old HTC One had, so it still feels like a very solid phone. And I mean, it does feel like a very well-made device, and it's beautifully crafted. You still have the micro drilled holes for the boom sound speakers, and you basically just have the same quality feel that the old HTC One gave to us. Now in terms of size, the HTC One has grown in some size. Now one, it's to accompany the new 5-inch display on the brand new HTC One. Now it still keeps the same resolution of 1920 by 1080. That's 441 pixels per inch, so no one should cry a tear over having less PPI because it still looks absolutely great. It's still the same IPS LCD3 technology. It looks absolutely great. The colors are great. The viewing angles are great. It's basically just a really good display. Now the size is still pretty pocket friendly and still very one-handed friendly. Maybe a little bit of a reach for the top corners or the bottom corners for my baby hands, but overall no one has really complained about this device being too big. I can almost call this new duo camera, basically it's almost flagship feature. Now I don't want to use that because, I mean, the new HTC One is not about the duo camera at all. It's about being the best Android device you can actually buy, but the duo camera is actually a really cool feature. So right here is a new 4 ultra-pixel sensor, basically the same megapixel count as the old HTC One. So there's no 4K video. Why? Because it doesn't have enough resolution to shoot 4K video, but that's almost pointless now. And then on top of that is a new ultra-pixel camera sensor. Now the top camera is actually not used as a normal camera, it's actually used as a sensor for focus. So this gives it basically focus information that the phone will analyze and let you refocus the shot after the distance. So we actually have a duo camera demo video that explains all the features of this duo camera. Now one huge feature that we all loved on the old HTC One was the boom sound speakers. Why? They were front-facing speakers and they sounded awesome. The new HTC One has boom sound speakers. It lost the Beats badge. I'm happy about that. I don't want to see Beats anywhere on my device, but they are 20% louder and they have deeper tone. Now I'm not exactly sure about this being louder than the old HTC One. I can sense a little bit more tonality through the whole chords. Now I actually watched the LaFerrari video that I use a lot in my videos on the new HTC One and the old HTC One, and there was more tone on the brand new HTC One, and we'll have that in the full review of the HTC One M8 very soon here at PhoneDog. Now, since it's a new device, you can expect some new features coming to the new HTC One M8, and they do revolve around gestures and motion pickup. Now, let me talk about the gestures first. So basically, the HTC One M8 has a touch-sensitive bezel, very similar to a lot of different phones, but the gestures are actually really cool and really intuitive. So for example, if you slide up from the top of this device while it's asleep, it actually activates a voice search feature. It's not Google Now. I really do want to see Google Now integration with this feature, but it definitely can be helpful. Now if you slide it from the right hand corner, you actually just unlock your device. You bypass your security. Unless you have a passcode or anything, it will actually just unlock your device. You don't have to hit the lock or sleep wake button. So basically, you don't even need this button to turn this phone on. Now the only downside of these gestures are they mainly work with the motion pickup. So if this was just laying down flat on your desk, it actually wouldn't render that gesture to be picked up. So this really only works if you take it out of your pocket and have that gesture turned on. Now one of my favorite gestures and motion pickups on the brand new HTC One really keeps photo takers in mind. So basically, if you take this phone out of your pocket, slide this bad boy into landscape mode and touch the actual volume rocker, you will go launch straight into the camera application to take your photo. So that's a really cool added benefit. You don't even have to unlock your display to go into the camera. Now in terms of software, HTC gave it a new form of Sense. Now this is called Sense 6.0, or sometimes referred to as the Sixth Sense, which is actually kind of funny because it reminds me of the Lamborghini Senso Elemento, which in Italian means the Sixth Sense. So this could be the Italian supercar that costs $2.1 million, or it could be just the brand new HTC One. Now the main differences between HTC Sense 6.0 and 5.0 mainly focuses on the aesthetics and look of Sense and how it operates. There's basically new fonts, new colors, new customization features. One of my favorites of Sense 6.0 is BlinkFeed 2.0, which basically gives you unlimited options to add whatever you want onto BlinkFeed. So you can basically search your favorite social network feed and add it straight into BlinkFeed 2.0. Now the old HTC One did not support micro SD card storage. Why? Because it didn't have a slot for micro SD cards. The new HTC One does have a slot for micro SD cards, which means you can add a micro SD card. Now the only downside, and this is kind of slight and minor, but you actually have to have a removal tool to get into it. So you couldn't just hot swap it when you have your phone on. Well, I guess you could, but you have to pry like a paper clip or a SIM removal tool, if you have those things, into the slot and take out the micro SD card. Now, battery life was a huge issue on the old HTC One. It wasn't the fact that it didn't last a full day, but it barely lasted a full day, and many people just drained the heck out of their old HTC One. Well, this phone has a larger 2600 milliamp hour battery, only 300 more than the old HTC One, but the real clever part of that is the actual software underneath the new HTC One. So other than the Snapdragon 801 using less power, the software that does the power saving on the HTC One is more intelligent, and they even have an extreme mode which will give you like 15 hours on 15% of battery life. That's 1% every hour on 15%. Now that just blows my mind, and I cannot wait to use it. It's not currently available, but it will be very soon on the new HTC One. So there we go, my kind of rather long video explaining what's new on the new HTC One, with some really cool cinema shots about this phone and the old HTC One, kind of comparing these guys. We will have a smackdown dogfight of the old HTC One M7 versus the brand new HTC One M8. So if you want to see that in the near future, please leave a like below. Let us know in the comments as well, and follow me on Twitter at phonedog_Marco, and send your feedback to me on Twitter. I do respond to quite a few tweets, so make sure to send them over there at phonedog_Marco. And also, if you want to leave a comment here, I do respond to a few of them. There's quite a few more comments than tweets that I get, but please feel free to leave all your feedback below. And for now, my name is Marco Hanna from phonedog.com, and I'll see you guys and the HTC M8 very soon.